In 2018, there was an incident in Thailand that brought China and Japan together. The paranormal incident jointly responded to by 17 countries including the United States and the United Kingdom. 12 football players invited by Thailand, together with their coach, explored the Sleeping Beauty Cave, the fourth largest cave in Thailand. But once he went in, he never came out. Until night, it's pouring rain. Sleeping Beauty floods every year. And this time, only then did their families realize the seriousness of the situation. Wait for them to arrive. There are only 13 staggered bicycles left here. The Sleeping Beauty Cave in front of me has long been flooded. They called the child's name into the cave, but never got a response. 1 a.m. Navy SEALs arrive on the scene to prepare for rescue. The deputy chief also received the message and rushed to the scene urgently. A resident foreigner provides a structural map of the cave. Although the internal structure of the cave is complex, narrow terrain, but fortunately, there are also relatively large chambers. Give children a chance of survival. Navy SEALs overhaul their manpower and equipment. Began the first wave of cave exploration. While looking for traces of the children deep in the cave, you attach the rope to the stalactite so that follow-up rescue can be launched. Until 5 a.m. Well-equipped team member returns to the starting point covered in scars. The situation inside the cave is very dangerous. A team member almost died, and they are here, just inside a 10-kilometer long cave. Traveled a short 800 meters. The rescue operation was more difficult than anyone could have imagined. I see the embarrassed appearance of the team members. The family's mood instantly dropped to freezing point. The fire of hope in everyone's heart is gradually dying. The next day's event is fully fermented. The rescue operation escalated to an international incident. The local government appealed to the world for help. Volunteers from all over the world came to the rescue. A passing hydraulic engineer discovered that the volunteers are pumping the water out of the hole with a pump, although using the largest pumps available. But in his experience, the effect of this is only minimal. He spontaneously found a local old man. Explain your identity. I want to solve the stagnant water in the cave. The root source is in the mountain. Under the guidance of the elderly, they succeeded in finding their way up the mountain. Sure enough, countless deadly water intakes were found. The flood is pouring into the cave, only by diverting the flash floods down the mountain, in order to better solve the problem of stagnant water. But here's the tricky part. Plates of crops will be destroyed by the flood. A year of hard work by farmers will be wiped out. No matter what choice, the results will be heartbreaking. After Fu Chang learned, so let's try things out. Show the farmers in person. Hope to find a life for the children. And the farmers just whispered a few words. A decision was made quickly. The time has come for the 5th day. Rescue workers from around the world reach 1,000 visitors. 2 of them is a relocation expert from the British Cave Rescue Society. They didn't even have time to rest when they arrived. Immediately put on the equipment. Rushed to the scene. Their presence will also change the entire rescue situation. They came to Chamber 3, 800 meters from the entrance. The stagnant water is being drained in full swing here, but the water level is still rising. Rescue operations are urgent. After several dozen meters into the cave, a water pump broke down due to high pressure work. The operator is repairing it urgently. And here, it is also the last place where you can stick your head out to breathe. They put on their flippers and dived into the water here. The water in the cave is extremely cloudy. Visibility is almost zero. The dangers underwater far exceeded their imagination. Sharp stalactites everywhere, can be scratched at any time. There is even a risk of serious infection. The terrain is very narrow. If you accidentally get stuck in a rock gap, then they may pay with their lives. The 2 marched forward with difficulty along the leash. It takes a lot of energy to move forward every meter, and they took about 4 hours. Finally arrived. A trapezoidal intersection 1.6 kilometers from the entrance. Here, it was the first large chamber to escape the torrent, but the 2 shouted for a long time. No children were found. We can only move forward to find the next cave. However, they have just set off. The mountain was washed away by the flood. A ferocious torrent spews out gravel and strong currents. Let them fall into a desperate situation in an instant. Fortunately, the 2 are experienced. Successfully defused the crisis, but they realized that the road ahead was even more dangerous. Never move forward rashly. Exhausted, the 2 immediately chose the same path back. The water level is rising at an alarming rate. When returning to the dive site, it's almost completely flooded. A maintenance worker is trapped on top of the rock, unable to act. The 2 could only give him a set of equipment. I plan to get him out safely first, then come back to pick up another person. But cave diving is for the average person. It's unattainable. They just dived. The maintenance worker has an abnormal situation. Terrible claustrophobia made him gradually lose his mind. He desperately tried to get rid of Rick, want to come to the surface. He also knocked out Rick's secondary breathing head halfway through. However, during his ascent, but hit a rock. The blood suddenly turned red. Rick immediately adjusts the equipment, put the secondary head back in his mouth again, and I dragged him back to shore with all my strength. Finally defused the crisis. Rick Duo informed Fu Chang of the complicated situation underwater. To prevent casualties, Fu Chang has decided to temporarily suspend all rescue operations. Until now, rescue teams still have no word on the trapped. The families began to think of giving up. They only ask, the government can remove the remains of children. Just bring it back in its entirety. The committee held an emergency meeting on this. The situation in the cave was discussed in depth. When to enter the hole. Who will enter the hole? Everyone thinks they should wait for the rain to stop, drain the water in the hole and make plans. But Rick and John have different opinions. Because every night for 1 minute, children are one step closer to death. As a veteran cave expert, they have 30 years of cave rescue experience. Only they are capable of this operation. They called for immediate rescue, but Fu Chang still decided, wait until the rain stops before making plans. Because if foreign volunteers die during rescue operations, it is a responsibility that no one can bear. The drainage work has made new progress on the 8th day. The first batch of pipes is laid. The floodwaters began to be diverted down the mountain. Powerful currents are like vast ant colonies. After a year year of hard work by farmers, eating away little by little. However, on the 9th day, something happened. Fantastic events that no one can explain. Legend has it that 300 years ago, Jinghong Palace, there is a beautiful princess, fell in love with a boy who keeps horses. Because of the disparity in identity, the love between the two was strongly opposed by the king. They were madly in love and eloped to Chiang Rai, Thailand. He settled in a cave, and the king was furious. Sent 13 assassins to hunt down the two. When the unlucky guy goes out foraging, was discovered by an assassin and died suddenly. I learned the sad news of my lover's death. The princess was devastated. Then he took off his hairpin and committed suicide. After his death, his blood became a river. The body turned into mountains. And the cave they live in, the mysterious Sleeping Beauty Cave. In this incident, the 13 people trapped are believed to be reincarnations of the 13 assassins. And here's what's even more amazing. Many Thai people, they all had the same strange dream. They dreamed of a princess who had been dead for 300 years. The princess makes a request to the people. If you find an eminent monk named Cuban village, come to see him. He will pardon and release the trapped 13 teenagers. The princess in the dream said, Cuban Chun is the reincarnation of a boy who keeps horses. But people have never heard of Cuban Chun. A restaurant owner has the mentality of giving it a try. Post on Facebook to find Cuban Chun. Then many Thai people also commented, I had the same dream. As this dynamic became popular, people actually found it. This is an eminent monk named Cuban village, and he has already come to Thailand. And here's what's even more amazing. He was on a mission in Burma, but just a few days ago, he himself had this dream. Then he set off for Thailand. When people find him, he has arrived at the Thai border according to the revelation in his dream, immediately arriving at the scene of the incident in Chiang Rai. The next day, the Cuban spring arrived in Chiang Rai. After doing the Dharma outside the cave, he went into the cave alone, until 2 hours later, just came out of the cave slowly. No one knows what's going on inside. After he came out, he told the crowd, the divers are getting closer to the teenagers. The children are all safe and sound. We'll see them in a day or two. Then he transgressed the princess outside the cave, then drive away. After he left, it was raining heavily. Immediately becomes sunny. Day 10, rescue operations resumed. Rick and John are ordered to go down the hole again. It took 4 hours to get to the trapezoid intersection. They connected the previous ends with new rope. Keep exploring. Soon after, they came to the children most likely to survive, Pattaya Beach. But unfortunately, no sign of the children was found here either. At this moment, the two gradually realized, these 13 people are likely to have died. 2 people left and right. I want to find the bodies of the victims as soon as possible. It took more than 2 hours. They came to chamber 9, 2.5 kilometers away, but just popped out. A strong smell poured into the nasal cavity. The flashlight suddenly lit up not far away. Several thin and dry bodies slowly moved towards them. However, when they saw these shadows clearly, what they saw shocked them. 12 children and their coach are all safe and sound. This is for them with 30 years of rescue experience. It's an unimaginable miracle. In addition to the dehydration caused by nutritional deficiencies, everybody's perfectly healthy. It turned out that during the trap, the coach has been teaching the children to conserve their stamina, constantly using meditation to ease their inner fear. The snacks they bring in the hole are only eaten 1 bite a day. Drink water, not cloudy rainwater, but in search of springs and clean mountain springs, so they have been able to survive to this day. John fought back his excitement. Use the camera to capture the scene in front of you. Record it all. You must return to the entrance immediately. Take this exciting news to the rescue team. After 6 hours, they returned to the cave entrance again. However, the thinking along the way let the two gradually calm down. They cautioned the staff, don't spread the news that the children are alive for a while. But now, the excitement has already made them lose their minds. At night, Mr. Fu came to thank the two for their significant contributions. But at this moment, their faces are heavy. To rescue these children, it's 1,000 times harder than finding them. In other words, it was mission impossible. But Fu Chang proposed, they'll have the best Navy SEALs work with state-of-the-art equipment to rescue these children. But the idea was quickly rejected by Rick, because it's not about the divers and the equipment. When they first entered the cave, rescued the trapped pump repairman, just a few hundred meters away, terrible claustrophobia. It made the adult swimmer lose his mind. What's more, they are now facing, it's a group of children who are not very familiar with the world. To get them from a cave of more than 2,000 meters, snorkel back, it's a myth. Now I have worked so hard to find the children, but I can only watch their lives fall. This allows every rescue worker present. Unacceptable. The SEALs decided, go and deliver supplies to the children first. Rick and John came uninvited. They know how to make intersections. The road ahead is very dangerous, so come and explain to them the precautions. And the heaviest, it is necessary to save the use of oxygen. 3 team members set off. It took 7.5 hours. The supplies were delivered safely. Room 9 where the children are located, and by measuring, the oxygen level in the cave is less than 20%. Children's lives are at risk at any time. And here's what's even worse, when they are ready to return, only to find out that John and Rick's reminder was correct. There's very little oxygen left. There is only enough for one member of the 3 to return. This undoubtedly leaves the cave with insufficient oxygen. Make things worse, it also turned the 13 people who were originally trapped into the current 15 people. Day 12, families are anxious, like ants on a hot pan. Look into these expectant eyes. The deputy chief still bit the bullet and made a promise. The Red Army will lead quickly. However, this sentence will make him who should have retired take on a huge responsibility. Facing the current situation, Rick had a crazy idea, but he couldn't say it until John on the side saw his mind, heard the name Harry. John immediately guessed Rick's idea. He fell silent. Time has come to day 14. The British Cave Rescue has sent in 2 more divers. They take over from John and Rick to Cave 9, transported a large amount of living supplies in order to build confidence in those who were trapped. They also brought handwritten letters from their families, and it wasn't long before the anticipated Harry showed up. Harry at the moment doesn't know. You will be the point person of the entire rescue. When Rick says what's needed here is his unique medical skill, Harry froze. Harry's head shook like a rattle, because he knows that goes against the ethics of anesthesiologists, and anesthetize the children and take them out of the cave. It's no different than killing them directly. Such a ridiculous plan. Harry had a hard time deciding, but in fact, this is indeed the only way to rescue them. Day 15. A team member went to deliver wetsuits to the children. When swimming to 13, the oxygen pipe got stuck in the rock crevice, caused a massive leak of oxygen. He tried his best to save, but in the end, he still regretfully lost his life. However, and this presents Harry with a dilemma. If the rescue doesn't end soon, not only will children lose their lives, more innocent lives will be sacrificed again. But if anesthesia protocol is used to implement rescue, those kids are going to be frozen for over 5 hours. This means that they're going to inject anesthesia all the way. The risks of anesthesia aside, even oxygen masks can fit perfectly, but the saliva secreted in the mouth could suffocate them at any time. The weight of the syringe for infected divers, every risk. It is possible that rescue operations become a tragic moth to the flame. Even with sheer good luck, that would only save 2 or 3 people. He didn't have the courage to die for these 13 people, and rash decision. But Rick said if we don't do anything, then there could only be 13 bodies fished out if they were killed during the rescue operation. But at least we tried. In the evening, the rescue team held a secret meeting. The anesthesia program is the only way to bring out the trapped people. The director inquired about the security of the plan. Harry looked pale, but it is theoretically possible. If you decide to implement, then you must be prepared for casualties at any time. The vice president decided to give it a go. He consulted the minister on the anesthesia protocol. After discussion, finally decided to secretly execute the anesthesia protocol. Day 16, rescue operations begin. He pulls out a syringe. It was distributed to every diver present. Everyone is on a mineral water bottle. Repeatedly insert the needle. Pull out. The purpose of doing this, it is to master the force of the injection. Prevent this from happening with the needle. Harry carefully informed each diver. Explain the main points of injection anesthesia. And start tonight. They want to take 13 children trapped in the cave, rescued in 3 batches, with the devout prayers of the people. Divers enter the water one after another. In chamber 5 in the middle section, last approved action details. In the expectation of children, they arrived in chamber 9 one after another. I heard it was to pick them up. Every child starts cheering. Unexpectedly, the rescue operation has not yet begun. Something unexpected happened. The coach selected 4 underweight children, and let the little one go out first. Oxygen mask. It doesn't exactly fit Xiaocai's face. I have no choice but to replace him. The other boy changed into a wetsuit. Take a pill, and then he was tied up. His hands and feet were tied with cable ties. Unexplained boy. So I came to Harry's side nervously. Harry softly soothed the boy's emotions. Then the needle was inserted into his thigh. The anesthetic worked quickly. The boy's consciousness gradually faded, but he's completely unconscious. The oxygen mask was clasped tightly to his face. After confirming that his breathing rate is still normal, fix all his hands and feet, and then dive down the leash into the water. The first 2-kilometer underwater human transportation. Here we go, because the nerves are too tight. Harry forgot to wait for Rick's signal from the observation area. The second child has already been anesthetized, but once anesthesia starts, you can't stop it. Everything can only go on. Fortunately, soon after, Rick emerged from the water. Good news that the first child is safe and sound. However, the first boy to leave the observation post, beginning to show signs of waking up, the diver in charge immediately stopped moving. I'm going to give him the next shot of anesthesia. Due to excessive physical exertion, the trembling of the hands caused the anesthesia needle to sink to the bottom. Fortunately, he struggled to find the anesthetic needle. The injection was successfully administered just before the boy was awake. The second child in John's charge at this time successfully reached the observation point. After giving the boy anesthesia, accidents happen again. John hastily flipped him over, but the boy's breathing returned to normal again. John discovered that the boy stops breathing every time he enters the water. It returns to normal when it returns to the surface. After repeating the experiment several times, the boy's condition gradually stabilized. It was like John was on a vertical roller coaster, almost became the first case to fail. At the same time, the first child lasted 7.5 hours, successfully sent out of the cave. Vital signs are normal. After 16 days, under the escort of ambulance personnel, he was finally bathed in the sun again. To stabilize the emotions of the family, he was secretly put into an ambulance. Then he was sent to the helicopter. He was taken to the hospital for treatment under the spotlight of thousands of people. Until midnight, the first batch of boys were all successfully rescued. Heavy duty, Harry was slow to go ashore, until the doctor told him all 4 were safe. Only then did his hanging heart completely let go. They not only set a precedent in the history of rescue, it's more about creating a miracle. Harry's mixed mood, I can't put it into words. And I saw these helicopters going back and forth overhead, so there was a glimmer of hope. But Rick and John didn't have a smile on their faces, because they understand. So far, for life people have been successfully rescued. They became heroes. But then once a dead person is rescued, their reviews are sure to be reversed. Even carry the curse of the ages.